but you combine the motivation with the skill of with the skill of guiding people to figure it out for themselves, right? Because if I'm able to guide you and ask you questions and get you to come to the conclusion on your own, you're gonna remember that longer. It's gonna stick with you because you figured it out on your own. But if I just told you and kept telling you and telling you, you're not gonna remember it because I'm just telling you, right? That's how I kind of coach people. I'm like, okay, cool. Sometimes there's times where you just have to tell them the information, but there's times where you just ask questions and lead them to the answer. I'm like, okay, what do you think you need to do here? What do you think is holding you back? You know, what do you think you need to do on your weekends, bro? And then they start literally critical thinking. Then I'll wait. If you can't come to the answer, then I'll give it to you. But first, at least I want you to try to figure it out on your own. Let your brain work, because the more you do that, then you start becoming self-sufficient.
Right.
And then once you're done working with me, you don't have to pay anybody again, because you've understood the skill on how to make it a lifestyle. Do you want to tell them how we met, or you want me to?
Yeah, no, I can say how we met. So we went to this event in Fountain Hills at the Elliott Group. It was a workout event, and pretty much, I think he was boy with what's his name again?
Was it Bright? No, it was the cameraman, my dude. I won't call him the cameraman because he would get mad at me. He's more than a cameraman.
No, he's a dope
dude. He's a business guy.
He's a dope dude.
Like let's find.
He actually sent Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew, that's my guy right there.
He sent me a text today, actually, just telling me to have a good weekend.
He's that type of dude. He's a very down to earth person.
So we met there, and then we just connected from there, and then we realized that we were both African. I'm from Senegal, Cameroonese.
Yeah, Cameroon.
Right?
Yeah,
Cameroon. So we figured we'd hop on a podcast together and make this happen.
Yeah, you just gotta talk, and I think it's important, even if it's for Africans or Black people in general, to stick together.
Right.
It's not like we're trying to be separate from, I guess other races. It's just that what I found, and I look at other cultures, and I realize how powerful it is when people stick together. I think there's a cultural problem in the U.S. You being an African, we can tell how we think differently because of how we were raised, right? But the people that are here, I've realized their mindset is not the same way.
Yeah, even African American, I would say. Yeah.
If they were born here, I realized the mindset is usually different because you see different things and you don't realize the opportunity you actually have to build what you want, right? And
I agree.
The African, to speak on African Americans, because when I first grew up, I came here when I was 9 years old, and the crazy part, bro, is like the African Americans were the most racist towards me.
I can relate to that because me too.
Yeah,
that has happened to me all the time. Like they were always like call me out.
Yeah,
or like they never like consider me as black as they are.
Yeah,
the people that were the nicest were the white people. You know what I mean?
Bro, I tell people this and they think it's crazy. I'm like, bro, when I came to this country, white people embraced me.
Right.
Like they were so fascinated. They wanted to learn about my culture.
Accent.
Yeah, accent.
Always asking about accent. Yo, where you from?
Where you from, man?
But like the black people, they were not cool with me. They always be making fun of me.
African booty scratcher.
Yeah, they weren't. I wasn't cool because I didn't know how to play basketball. I was more like a swimmer when I grew up. So they were just not that cool with me, Don't get me wrong though. Some of them were hell. Cool,
some of them are super cool.
I got along with a lot of them.
Yeah.
But over time, I kind of just realized like that thing that they have for like African American, actual African American. You know what I mean?
And here's what I think it is too. I think it's like we're not the same.
Right.
Right. No, I'm American.
Yeah.
Because I'm from here. It's just like, bro. At the end of the day, your descendants or your ancestors came from somewhere in Africa.
Right.
And I feel like, in general, we should all it doesn't matter the race, because people are just people. That's just something that we speak on from our experiences. It doesn't matter race. I feel like overall, it's okay to call out differences in culture and people. I feel like the world has gotten soft to the point where when people call out differences, it becomes, oh, you're racist.
Right.
Because if I say to an Asian person, dang, you eat a lot of rice, someone might choose to be offended. Oh my God, you're so racist. You're this, just, bro. That's the truth, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you
Yeah.
tell me something like, oh, you're an African person, or you do this thing in your culture, it's not racist. You're just
Yeah.
pointing out a difference that I have in my culture versus yours.
Right.
And once we start appreciating the differences, I think that's how we can unite better.
No, I agree. I
All right.
agree.
But speak about, like, have you had any experiences where you were like, yo, what in the world? I never thought this would happen to me, or like, what just happened?
As far as what do you mean? Like what kind of
Like,
experience? Like towards what?
let's just say racial, any racial experience.
No. I mean, like what I was gonna say is the experience that I did have is like when I was with certain black people. Like a lot of times, like I said, they would make fun of me, and others I got along with, and it really depends. But most of my friends, when I grew up,
Yeah.
they were either like immigrants, like they were like Africans like me,
Yeah.
or they were like white, or they were like Assyrians, or just kind of like they were all like from different cultures.
Interesting.
I've never really had really strong friendship with African American people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My strongest friendship has come from like white people,
Yeah.
or people that are just not from here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or people that are in my religion, for
Like
example.
cultural.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the crazy part, I've had strong relationships with almost any race because I'm just naturally a people's person. But then I was able to, I saw the differences, and I
Right.
saw how people would talk, or even like the true character would reveal themselves. Right, you know, one friend who who in high school, we were really good friends and best friends. Like we were super best friends. We did everything together, played soccer, everything. And then he had like a cookout, you know, bonfire, right? And friends were there. It's cool. I'm like the only black person there. I don't really care because I'm comfortable. Like I had to grow to get comfortable in any room. And then one of his friends said, called me the N word. And I'm like expecting my friend to like say something on or stick up for me or whatever, but he didn't say anything. Just kept, you know, chilling and laughing with the guys. So right in
Right.
my head, it was just like, cool. Now I know what type of person you really are, right?
Right.
So to me, it's just like I don't really. People say they don't see race. I think it's BS. You see race. You can tell if someone's Asian, black, white. You can see race, but I just treat people as people. It doesn't matter who you are. You're just a person. But when you reveal your true colors, I'm not gonna be blindsided and think that you're somebody else. You just showed me who you are, based off what just happened or what you did or what you said, right? I think that the truth always comes out, no matter what you do. You can try to hide it, do this. Your real self is just going to come out.
Right. I agree.
But I want to understand, bro. How are you raised? You know, how did you grow up? Because African people, we have different experiences.
Right. So I mean, I grew up in France.
Yeah.
I lived 14 years in France.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born in the United States. I was born in
Yeah.
Chicago. From Chicago, my flight was supposed to leave back to France because basically my mom
Yeah.
was having some problem with my dad.
Yeah.
And my family was already in Chicago. So the way my uncle and the way my grandma and my aunt went to Chicago is my back like 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
They used to do lottery for passport in Africa.
Really?
Yeah. Like 20, 30 years ago.
What
So,
country?
like Senegal.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they would do the lottery, and my uncle won the lottery to come to the United States.
It's like one person for the lottery, or
Like yeah, the passport, like
Yeah.
one passport. You know what I'm saying? Like you win the passport. So he won the passport. He came through United States, and then I believe he brought like my grandma and my aunt as well. I believe like my grandma just recently got American citizen as
Yeah,
well,
dope.
and after that, my mom was having some trouble with my dad in France, and she was pregnant with me. She already had I had a brother, but he died.
Sorry to hear that,
So
brother.
I mean, I never met him because he was never
Oh,
born. You know
like
what
a
I'm saying?
miscarriage.
Yeah, she had a
Okay,
miscarriage.
okay.
In a
Still,
sense.
that's still tough.
Yeah, and then essentially she was pregnant with me, and then she was some difficult situation, so she had to go from France to Chicago because that's where her family was. So that's where she could like kind of like just settle
Yeah.
and being able to have me. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So I ended up
Pause. Just make sure you have. Yeah, you're holding it the right way.
right here.
This part is up here. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure. All right, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is she got to United States. She had me in 2001, and I was born June 29, 2001. And then we were supposed to go back
Yeah.
2 months after I was born, because after like my mom lived in France, she wanted
Yeah.
to stay in France.
Yeah.
But we wanted to leave on 9/11, right? Like that's when we bought our flight to leave.
Why? That's any specific reason?
No, no. It just. I mean, she just ordered a flight for 9/11. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't know that 9/11 was gonna happen or anything like that. She just ordered a flight for 9/11 from Chicago to France, and then obviously 9/11 happened, so our flight got canceled, and then we just ended up staying 6 more months in Chicago because we couldn't fly for 6 months.
Dang.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm just like, your uncle won the lottery, right? Like, what are the chances?
Yeah.
With out of everyone in Senegal,
Yeah.
like my family, like, dang, you know?
No, he's very blessed to
Yeah.
to have won that. I think we have yet to like live the American dream. But
Yeah.
I think it's a slow and steady process.
Yeah.
In a sense, we're already living it.
I
Little
love
by
that you
little.
said that.
In I feel like the American dream is different things. It's
Yeah.
not only money. It's not only nice cars. It's a lot of different things together. It's being able to just be here in the United States, being able to make like your own decision, having the freedom. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Being able to wanting to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Wanting to work, like always being able to have work if you
Yeah.
want to work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we can touch on that. The American dream, like you said, it means different things to different people, and it's a powerful thing. And then on top of that, I think that a lot of people miss sight of the opportunity relating it back to the American dream, because people that are born here, right? I don't think they know how much opportunity they have.
Right.
Sometimes if you're in a specific environment for a while, you don't see the privilege that you have.
I agree.
Right.
It's big.
When I came here, backstory. Like I came here when I was 9 years old. After my dad died in Cameroon, when I was like I think 6, and then my mom.
Condolences.
Yeah, it's all good, brother. Made me who I am, and my mom came here. She was, we were without her for 5 years, so she was here, like sleeping on someone's floor, braiding hair.
But
We were still back in Cameroon because we all couldn't come.
Africans are always good at braiding hair.
Yeah, always, bro. You can count one thing. You can always count on to braid some hair or cook some food.
Yeah.
Right, and she worked her way up to become a nurse, and then was able to make enough money.
My mom's a nurse too.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah.
Always like nurses, lawyers, doctors, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And she worked her way up, and when she brought us here, like 3 boys, single mom, and I'm seeing her grinding. I'm just like, wow, You don't realize it. Like the older you get, you start to pick up on these things. You're like, dang, you start to see your parents' hard work,
Right.
whatever the case may be, and I actually saw it in a way that, that's not what I want to do. I don't know why. I think it's God that put it in me or something. I just saw it's like, this does not seem like a fulfilling life, like working this much, especially as a single mom overall, but just working like that. For some reason at 17, I knew that I didn't want to work for somebody.
Right.
It's like I always knew that I was going to own my own business. I always knew that I would be an influencer of some type. Like first I wanted to play soccer, but then like in the back of my head, I just knew if soccer didn't work out, there's no way I'm working for somebody.
Right.
I was gonna own my business. I wanted to own the gym. That was my plan. And then COVID happened, and then I had to like deter, and I went online. And then that's how I built my online business. From that.
I mean, online is great. Like,
Yeah.
I think online is now the best because you're able to talk to 6 billion people.
Yeah.
Compared to like in person, there's only so many people you can reach.
Yeah.
And you're basically trading time for money.
And it's free.
So, yeah.
Like I was working at a gym, exactly what you just said, trading time for money, training people. Like
What gym, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay,
In AZ?
No, not in AZ. If you guys know, I just moved to AZ like 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So this was back in Anytime Fitness back in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
You know, at first like I was always gonna be a trainer, and then I was doing the training on my own. You know, I started training people on my own. Started to figure out like how do I take this online. I was training people in the gym, but I was.
That's kind of where I'm at right
Yeah?
now. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll actually get to that. This is gonna be really
Yeah.
good stuff. And I was like literally in the position. I'm like, I am so tired of this freaking hourly job. I was training people at the gym, and I was trying to do online. And you're not supposed to train people while you're working for like it's a non-compete thing.
Right.
But I was still doing it sneakingly because I knew I wanted to do my own thing.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and I got to a point where I was like, bro, I just gotta go all in on myself. And then I saw one of an ad online talking about you can be an online coach and make 10K a month. I kept seeing it over and over
Who
again.
from Keto?
Yeah, King Keto?
Yeah, you
Yeah, King Keto. You're probably on this ad list. You see, yeah, that's what I invested in.
Oh, okay.
That's the program I invested in, and I kept seeing it, and I was just like, God damn! Finally, like, let me just go see what this is about, bro. I got on a call, and then when they said the price, I was like, oh. But then
How much did they tell you?
It was 10K when they
Dude,
said.
yeah,
I was
because
like,
I got on the call too, and it
Yeah?
was around 8,000.
Yeah.
And they tried to close me so hard on it. Like the guy, the salesman,
Yeah.
he was almost pressuring.
Was it Brian? Brian doesn't pressure. It wasn't Brian. It can't be
I
Brian.
don't know who it was exactly. If I looked through my emails, I could probably tell you his name.
Yeah.
But I just remember he was just pressuring. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna talk to King Keto. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna get some information. Next thing you know, bro, he's asking me all the questions in the books, bro.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a good experience. Though.
It's good.
I didn't do the program just because of the cost.
You did-
It was a good experience.
You didn't do did you do 2 calls or just 1 call?
It was just one call. He said he was gonna call me back, but they never called me back.
Okay.
They wanted me to eventually they wanted me to do a down payment.
Yeah.
And eventually do it. It's just like I didn't see myself at the time it was 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And 20 or 21, I don't remember. I just didn't see myself, and I didn't have $8,000.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And I just didn't see myself putting down $8,000 that same day. And
That's okay.
yeah.
And this is really good. It's so funny how the world is small. But at the time I was like 24, 23 or 24. 24. No, 23 because I'm 27 now. I've been in business for 4 years. And I didn't have the money. But for me it was like the perfect alignment because it's something I was always already looking at, something I wanted to do,
Right.
something that felt like my calling. So I think I paid $400, and then that was the only amount I had at that time, and then I just went hard with the business, and then I paid it off because I was getting clients, from doing the work.
Right.
But is fitness a passion of yours? Is this something that you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've been working out since I'm 14. Fitness is a big passion of mine. I'm in the gym every single day.
Yeah.
I've been training people already. I've been training people online.
Yeah.
And also in person. You know what I mean? For the past 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I just haven't come to a point that I'm able to scale that business.
Got
Does that
you.
make sense?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. And there's so many. I have so many connects in the fitness realm. With programs that I can guide you to. I'm not gonna say which one would be the perfect fit for you and most affordable, but we'll talk about it outside of this. Because right now I teach sales for one of my friends. She's one of my friends. She runs an online fitness business. And she teaches coaches how to grow their online fitness business. So people who love fitness in general. And then
Right.
I have my marketing program. The marketing program I'm into, they're really good. They have all the systems with scaling and everything.
Right.
And Kinkito's programs also as well. But we'll talk about which one I think will be the best fit depending on where you're at with your business. Is there any questions that you want to ask me, bro?
I mean, my biggest thing is what I'm doing right now with the client that I have.
Yeah.
So the reason why I haven't gone like full in on doing personal training is because nowadays everyone wants to be a personal trainer.
Oh
You know
my
what I mean?
God.
Everyone that has been working out for
They
maybe
think they're a coach.
maybe 1 year or that has like a nice body or that has
Yeah.
like six pack want to be a personal trainer.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's why I've been kind of hesitating to get in that space.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been
Yeah.
instead of just kind of like jumping in that space and doing what everyone is doing, I've been trying to differentiate myself from the competition.
Yeah.
So pretty much just like getting as much knowledge as possible before I get on and start telling people what to
Yeah.
do. Like I already have the knowledge because I've been training since I'm 14,
Mm-hmm.
23 today. So it's almost close to 10 years. Right?
Okay. And to speak on that, right? I agree with you. Literally, everyone and their mom wants to be an online coach nowadays, right? People that don't even know how to coach people. But here's the thing: it's actually not something that's gonna hold you back just because everyone wants to get into it, or it's saturated. It's a good thing
Right.
because it weeds out the people that are not actually good at what they do. So when people say things are saturated, I'm like perfect. Because if I'm a top performer, like just let's say for example sales, and let's say solar, right? Let's say people are saying, "Oh my God, the solar market is getting saturated," but you got top closers, top companies. It's gonna weed out the people that are not good,
Right.
and the people that actually know their stuff, people that know what they're talking about, and know how to sell. They're gonna rise to the top. So that's how I feel right now in fitness. I know my stuff. I know my shit. I've done 2 strength and conditioning internship for D1 college for private facility. I got my degree in exercise science. I've had physical therapy internship. Right. I've trained people group. I've coached kids. I've coached elderly. Right. I've coached almost every age group, and I have the experience to coach more people. So it's like I'm sitting here like this is perfect. All you guys who suck are gonna get weeded out, and I know what I bring to the table because my knowledge is unmatched. Right.
Right.
Plus, I bring in the sales experience. There's no one. I don't know anybody that has been in sales since they were 18. With my experience in fitness, combine that together and
Right.
offer something to the market. So the question for you is, what differentiates you from everybody else? You got to think about that. What can you bring to the market that no one else is doing? And it's not about waiting for, oh, I got to wait to get the knowledge. It's just about doing. Because once you start doing, then you're going to start figuring out what you need to learn.
Right.
And then you just got to take the action. You just figure it out. Even if you talk to a client and they're like, oh my God, Kuz didn't help me, or blah, 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 something happened, or they ask a question that you don't know, you're going to go research it and figure the answer to tell them the right thing. And it's doing business with integrity, being honest. Because when I was building up, if I didn't know something, I told my client, I was like, hey, bro, I really don't know this. I'm going to go research it, though, and read about it and watch some videos. And I'll get back to you. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. And I appreciate you because I get to learn a lot, too.
Right.
So I was telling people what I didn't know. I'm not going to try to give you information that I don't know about. So you just gotta, whatever you want to do, you just gotta start. Everyone has that like little bit of scared to change or try something new or just dive full in. But once you burn all the boats and you tell yourself like, yo, this is gonna work no matter what, you're not gonna fail because you're gonna hit hard times and you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is tough. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm made for this. I'm gonna just keep grinding.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like when you jump into things, and I was able to jump in to building my closing brand.
Yeah,
You know
hell
what I
yeah.
mean? When I built my closing brand, I was like, oh look, I'm gonna start this thing.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I just figured out everything that I needed to start it the next day. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't need as much knowledge.
Yeah.
That I need because I feel like the big difference between like clothing brand and personal training
Mm-hmm.
is that you're like personal training. You're hands on with you're hands on with like a client. You're taking care of their body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Clothing is more like their what they wear. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not as much as like for personal training. Like you have to really make sure like one the customer get results.
Yeah.
The customer doesn't get hurt.
Yep.
Right. And also that the workouts that you're telling him are what fits what he wants to do
Yeah.
and where he wants to go, and also just his health in general.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're a doctor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reality is a lot of people, like for people that are in the fitness world,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people like you attain a lot of knowledge by just being in shape, just like drinking your gallon of water.
Yeah.
Like
They give you the basic
yeah,
stuff.
but some people don't know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know even the basics to start. You
You're
know what I'm
right.
saying? So my thing is the way I'm kind of like structuring my thing with my client that I have right now is I'm trying to teach him the way I was taught.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to teach him the way I was taught, like my techniques and stuff, like the way I kind of the mindset I kind of go about things.
For sure.
So, yeah.
And that's where you can start from, because anything you're teaching somebody, it's the knowledge that you have. But then once you get the second client, the third client, you're gonna have to start teaching people differently, because that's what I learned, right? Yeah, I can help skinny people build muscle because I've done it and tell them exactly what I do with all my strategies and hacks. But when it came to helping people for fat loss, it took a lot of more deeper thinking. I had to go learn. I literally paid for a course, precision nutrition, to understand more how I can teach people who are fat how to make it a lifestyle. So I had to do research, and then I'm at the point right now. I've trained so many people. It's like every person I talk to, I coach them differently. I figure out what drives them. I figure out how I can talk to them. Maybe I can yell at this person with a little bit more passion. With this person, I gotta be a little softer, right? I start understanding personality types. On top of that, with sales, that's what really made me better at understanding how to get the most out of people, how to get them really driven, right? And people get this wrong. You can motivate people, right? You can give them fire, passion. It's a lot of stuff what Andy does. Andy's really good at motivating, make you feel like you want to take action, right? But also I realized you have to combine the motivation. Patrick, let's call it Patrick. My David is calling him. But you combine the motivation with the skill of guiding people to figure it out for themselves, right? Because if I'm able to guide you and ask you questions and get you to come to the conclusion on your own, you're going to remember that longer. It's going to stick with you because you figured it out on your own. But if I just told you and kept telling you and telling you, you're not going to remember it because I'm just telling you, right? That's how I kind of coach people. I'm like, okay, cool. Sometimes there's times where you just have to tell them the information, but there's times where you just ask questions and lead them to the answer. I'm like, okay, what do you think you need to do here? What do you think is holding you back? What do you think you need to do on your weekends, bro? And then they start literally critical thinking. Then I'll wait. If you can't come to the answer, then I'll give it to you. But first, at least I want you to try to figure it out on your own. Let your brain work, because the more you do that, then you start becoming self-sufficient.
Right.
And then once you're done working with me, you don't have to pay anybody again, because you've understood the skill on how to make it a lifestyle.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
So that's super powerful. Have you had any mentors? Like any mentors in your life so far?
The mentors that I'm working with right now is the LU group.
Yeah.
So that has been my biggest mentor so far.
You're paying them? Oh, no.
Yeah, I go to the seminars. I get on coaching calls.
Yeah.
As well, and that's just kind of like mindset.
Yeah.
That's also like, I wouldn't say it's as strategic and technical as I want it to be, but the mindset does most of the job.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like a lot of things that they say will make me do the things that I need to do. You know what I mean? And also just having that connection as
Absolutely.
well. Like being able to have their phone numbers, ask them questions, because realistically it's like here. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. My father is in France,
Yeah.
right, and my mom's in France, and they're doing kind of different jobs.
Yeah.
So whenever I have like a question about anything,
Scoot your chair just in a little bit more. Yeah, that's perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
whenever I have a question about like anything, whether it's like business or life,
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to reach out to them
Yeah.
and just ask him about it, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was to reach out to my dad, my dad's not really in the United States. He
Yeah.
never lived here. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? He can give me some advice, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He give me some really good advice.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that these guys live here
Yo.
and are doing business and are pretty much doing kind of like the things that I want to do and going the places I want to go,
Mm-hmm.
they're really able to relate to my questions.
Yeah, and they're super successful, so they have a lot of business knowledge and overall life knowledge. Like I love the Elliott Group, what they're
Me
about,
too.
what they preach. I love them. They get a lot of hate, but I think the people that are hating are the people that are not really listening to the message that they're
Right.
about. They're not really listening to what Andy talks about, right? Being a better person overall, being a better dad, being a better leader, right? Pushing people to work out and overall level up themselves, So I love them. And I also believe, because they helped me change my life. That like the first event I went to was a complete mindset shift. After
How
that,
long ago was that?
this was like a year, 2 years ago, a year ago. No, this was a year ago. I went to my first event, and yeah, the sales tactic is cool. They're great at sales. I'm great at sales in general. As some people walk in, the sales tactic is the sales stuff is great and all that, but the main thing I got from them was just leadership,
Right.
mindset, becoming a better leader.
I agree, and that leads to everything
Yeah,
else.
absolutely. And that it shifted how I thought, and I went back to my home believing that I can do anything, and that energy and that fire was in me. Like a lot of people will ask questions like, "What do I need to do here? What do I need to do here, or do this?" Then don't get me wrong, they might need the business knowledge, they might need the knowledge in whatever they're lacking, but a lot of the times people already know what to do.
Right.
They're just either wanting validation or confirmation, like this is the right thing, or they're scared to make that change. A lot of times people know what to do. I never went there and like, oh my God, what do I need to do? Because I was already investing in coaches. I already knew you needed to invest in people to get where you want to get. I already knew you needed to invest in experts. So I was already doing that at that point, right? I damn near when I burnt the boats at once. I spent what 25K on a marketing program. I took all the money out of my account, out of my checkings account, my savings account, my investing account, to invest in a marketing program. That was the moment I burned the boats. And to connect it back to it,
What do you mean burn the boats?
burn the boat? So it's aligned. Burn the. Have you David Goggins?
Yeah,
All right. I don't know who said burn the
I
boats.
met David Goggins.
You met him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Who said burn? Who said burn the boats?
I mean, Andy says that as well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what do you mean burn the boats in your situation?
Oh, my situation? Okay. It was like either I'm gonna sink or swim. That's actually what the phrase means, right? So it was that point where I didn't. There was no backup plan. There was no.
When you invested in that marketing
Yeah.
deal,
Yeah. There was no. Oh, I'm gonna save a little bit money in case this doesn't work out.
you went all in.
Yeah. There was no. I wasn't thinking. Oh my God, if online fitness coaching doesn't work out, I'm just gonna do this else. No, it was like this shit is going to work. There's no
Right.
ifs, ands, or buts about it. I just knew it was going to work, and it was a moment where I knew, okay, cool. Now I'm all in. I have no choice. My back's against the wall. Got to make something shake.
Right.
So it shifts your mindset because when you're in survivor, a lot of people when they're in survivor mode or get to rock bottom or get to a place where they have to take action, that's when that fire clicks. Sometimes it takes people to get to rock bottom for them to actually level up.
I agree. I agree. I agree, and I think it's funny you mentioned this because I'm at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Like I'm very close to going back to rock bottom
Yeah.
in order to shoot to the top. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's funny you say that.
It's interesting. Just humans in general, how our brains work, and I've done the best I could to study just like human psychology in general. That's really sales. Sales is human psychology.
Right.
Sales is understanding.
Yeah, I love
people.
sales. Like sales and
Yeah.
fitness is also like
goes hand in
something
hand.
that I am very interested in and just
Yeah.
want to learn more. Like I've been in sales since maybe 20, 21. Yeah,
What
like
was your first sales job?
solar.
Solar. Oh,
Yeah.
how was that? Cause solar is like
Solar's rough.
Yeah.
Solar's rough. I'm still considering it.
Yeah.
Solar's rough. I'm still considering it. The biggest problem with solar is it's not my belief.
Yeah,
It's not what I want to do, but the experience
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
Like just the grind. You have to have a lot of grit to do solar. You have to be on doors. You talk to customers left and right.
Yeah.
So like that's a good thing.